All right, thank you. So I guess everyone can see the slide right now. Okay, so like I said, I'm a dietitian, so I'm talking about diet and okay, the next slide, please. The next slide, thank you. Okay, so on the introduction, according to our American Pregnancy Association, research has been made that food and healthy nutrition plays a great role in the fertility health of both men and women. I noticed how Nurse kept talking about the fertility issue, not just being a woman issue, it's also a man issue. So we're going to see how we can help ourselves with diets to see how we can improve our fertility. Because I know as young people, a lot of substances would have been taken, at that very vital age. We see ourselves taking things like birth control, and these things people have manipulated our bodies to a very good extent that could also now help prevent pregnancies at the time when we think we want to get pregnant. So, okay, the next slide, please. So, factors affecting fertility. Number one is obesity. The second one is underweight. Third one is age. Then the fourth one is weight. Then the fifth one is lifestyle. I'm going to be touching on what concerns me as a dietitian, which is obesity, underweight, age, and lifestyle. Ms. Susan has said a lot about points, so I will touch that area. So now for obesity, for the women, the next slide, please. Okay, for the women experience hormonal imbalance. And when we talk about hormonal imbalance, we talk about when estrogen comes up, and this disrupts the normal hormonal signals that is needed for ovulation. So we also have an issue like polycystic ovarian syndrome that also is linked to affect our ovulation and hormone levels. We also experience irregular menstrual period. I've had sometimes come up to me with irregular period, especially big ones, So we should also try our best to watch our size, our food intake to avoid being obese. Then the next one that can also affect us is that we can also kind of what can as a tech can get to be obese is that we also see ourselves having lower results from our IVF. You understand? When you go for IVF, you think okay, yes, you're going to have a good result, and because of your size, you see yourself having a bad and you have a bad result, low success rate. Then in obesity, too, when it comes to fertility, it plays a role in pregnancy complications. Okay, so for the men again, it could reduce their sperm quality. It's self-explanatory. The quality of the man's sperm, I am sure we've heard about blanks. When a man shoots blank, it's trying to say that that sperm is unhealthy, it's not portable, so it's not healthy at all. So another one for the men is hormonal disruption. So for the men, when we talk of hormonal disruption, we're talking about decreased testosterone. And this testosterone is the hormone responsible for the reproductive system for men. So when this thing is reduced, it also affects the sperm production. So this is to play another role with erectile dysfunctions. It reduces the libido. So you can imagine when a man is not having a good libido, definitely you see that he cannot have a proper intercourse. Automatically, he's going to produce a poor sperm. Erectile issues is already automatically there. So definitely there is no way she can get pregnant the natural way if she can find it natural. So please next slide. I hope I'm being heard. Maybe yes. So I will be sure I'm not just talking. Okay, so the next one is underweight. For the women too, when you're underweight, you might experience hormonal imbalance. Because when someone is having a poor body mass index, you see the person is able to produce enough estrogen. So another one is the amenorrhea. That one is now talk about absence of period and maybe missed period schedule. Then we have the anovulation. In this case, the period should be regular actually, but you're not getting because of the low weight, your body can't ovulate properly. So another thing too that weight could also do is also help, give us poor egg quality. You understand? Even the normal animals, you see that if those that have poultry, you see that you say there are times when you see that your chicken is producing healthy eggs. So the same thing applies to humans. If the lady has a very low, a bad body mass index, see she's going to have an issue with the quality of her eggs. So for the men, underweight plays a very good role in lowering the sperm counts. And for in case of hormones, it also plays a role in hormones, leading to low testosterone. Like I said, testosterone is a hormone responsible for reproductive system for the men. So it reduces their libido and sperm production. So it's having a low weight too can also can what can contribute to it is also nutrition deficiency. So I know in trying to be fertile, there are certain vitamins, nutrients we are supposed to kind of have, the micronutrients and the macronutrients. So here we see a man having deficiencies in small, selenium and other nutrients that will also impair stem quality and development. Please next slide. Okay, now age again is something that can affect one's fertility. For the women, it declines with experience decline in quality and quantity. The second one that increases the risk of miscarriages and birth defects. You see people having things like neural tubes, neural tube issue, neural spinal bacteria, and all that. All this thing is when you're having issues. That's where it plays a role in cause infertility issues with the woman. So we're also looking at menstrual cycle changes. You see a menstrual cycle, it's always changing. You see sometimes it's 20 days, sometimes you see yourself having two periods in a month and all that. It's just not regular. So for the men, we also experience gradual decline in sperm quality, increased genetic mutations, and longer pregnancy. So please next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, now this is where the area that concerns me very well when it talks of lifestyle. Really by our lifestyle. So the number one thing we have to look at is our diet and our nutrition. Number one, poor dieting. A lot of people are having this poor dieting thing, and people feel when you call it diet, it's always expensive. You say you're on diet doesn't mean you're what when diet is like you maintaining a balanced and nutritious meal. So now having a poor diet plays a very serious role in the fertility of both men and women. So and now we are trying to see how you can reduce the intake of processed food. We have a lot of bread we eat, spaghetti, noodles, try to cut down or even reduce or remove totally the consumption of sugar in any form. Also trans fats, even these things can always disrupt our hormones and also our ovulation. So another thing too where diet and food comes in, I also already mentioned nutritional deficiency. You see some individual, either the man or the woman, lacking in some vital nutrients like the folic acid, that we also know as the folate, iron, zinc, vitamin D, antioxidants too. because these things, if they are deficient, they can impair the egg and the seed quality. So we all encourage you to have a healthy diet. I won't say healthy diet, a balanced meal. This incorporates the vegetable, the fruit, including proteins and whole grains, because this support our reproductive health. So the next way lifestyle helps with fertility is when we watch our physical activity, especially when you're being inactive. Let's say you're sedentary worker, it could contribute to obesity. You don't move around, you see yourself, you just need to sit down. At least try to get involved in things, just going on little errands, just trek around depending on how your work area is, just to avoid hormonal imbalance. And over exercising, because children about not over exercising, to avoid intense exercises. If you know you're looking for, you're trying to have children, try to just get engaged in things like yoga, just relaxing exercises, so you won't have to stroll your body. So it won't disrupt. Now you're trying to pamper your body, so you don't disrupt your ovulation and don't also disrupt the menstrual cycle. So the next one is smoking and alcohol. A lot of people will tell you, my daddy was a smoker, my father was an alcoholic, and he had 12 children. And then what happens with age will happen with you. So it's always good to always be on the safe side. And smoking and taking alcohol is not even a wonderful lifestyle. So I don't see why one is advised to stop smoking and taking alcohol is as an issue, especially if it's a expectant father or a mother. So we advise smoking to be stopped, not even reduced, stopped, because it could damage the eggs and the sperm. Reduced, reduce. It can also reduce the hormone production and increase the risk of miscarriages and ectopic pregnancy. Alcohol too can affect your population in women and also reduce the testosterone and sperm quality in men, especially if such a person is heavy, is a serious addict to smoking and alcohol. The fourth one now is stress and mental health. That one now talking about chronic stress. There are a lot of people that stress themselves at work. Once you're stressed at work, definitely see your work, you're not relaxed. You almost everything just not you're not finding it. It's not just the hormones are all in everywhere. So it also plays a role in affecting your fertility. So we also have mental health disorders. When someone is depressed and anxiety becomes thing, also contribute to sexual disruption, irregular cycle. Then another one is in your sleep patterns. We are expected to have like 8 hours of sleep daily. So you see where you're having coffee, you can disrupt hormones hormonal cycle and also insulin sensitivity, both for the male and female. And we also see people having shift works, night work. You see yourself going for night because it depends on the kind of night work. There's some night work that's so very that very strenuous. So if you see that that's a level of expectant hormone that you could also talk to your head, and you know they will see they'll come to understand and see how they can be able to comfortable. Then hello. So now going the last but not the least is environmental toxins. So that work with light construction areas that could be exposed to chemicals or pesticides. So here we advise you to have maybe your proper or if you can even talk to your head, your lead from that kind of switch you from that particular department. Or you try to ensure you have your proper protective equipment on. Or you can also reduce the exposure time to all these chemicals, knowing that you're an expectant mode for that. We also incur occupational hazards in our jobs. Some things like heat and radiation. We should try to see how we can also reduce the exposure time. So, in conclusion, actually, we see that lifestyle kind of plays a very great role when it comes to fertility. So, we are advised to a healthy, a balanced lifestyle to see how we can improve our chances of conception and support a healthy pregnancy. So please, the next slide. Okay, now diet patterns to adopt. When we talk of the Mediterranean diet, this is the most, that is the healthiest diet you can think of. It comes in with fruits, vegetables, um, grains, having grains as part of your meal. So I encourage you to eat things with foods that are high in vegetables, high that take meals that have lean protein. You know the one we call lean protein, the one that is just the muscle, no fat. Then we're talking about foods you limit processed food, anything processed that is not natural, because it's crazy that any of the meals we have nowadays, they are most of them we are having genetically modified food now, so we don't even know which is not, which is naturally natural foods, because even the fertilizers, the pesticides, everything acts on this food. I'm speaking of not really good the expected result. So even if your mother or your grandfather had a healthier life at their own time, in our own time too, it's different time. You know, so a lot of things has there changing. So we should try to also cut down on our alcohol, which I've already said, trans fats and sugar. And trans, what we trans fats, we're looking at things like even the regular red oil we take. Forget about the way we are now making it fake. We're having fake of it. But trans, that's red oil is very high in trans fat. So I always advise whenever you're using it to cook your meals, ensure you have enough vegetables in it. Then you have also healthy fats like flax seeds. You can also use for your smoothies. That whenever you make your smoothie, those are essential fatty acids, which is very nice. You also have your olive oil, you have your canola oil, you have your sunflower oil, you have your safflower, and a lot of them that are, even avocado oil is very also very healthy too. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, I believe this should be my last slide. So we're talking about the diet, the diet. So, one, meals should be less than 40% carbs and eaten 3 times a week. So this is telling you that the whole goal is cut your carbs, cut your carbs. Carbs is not, because before you know it, you're yourself adding weight and all that. Then the second thing is that you should take eggs because they are rich in vitamin D and protein. And I stated above how we need vitamin D if we want trying to go into having children. So avocado is also rich in essential fatty acids. I gave another example, flax seeds and chia seeds. They are very rich and high in essential fatty acids. Then walnuts, both the local and the foreign ones, are rich in omega-3. You can also go for fishes that have scales, they are less fat, they are rich in omega-3. And we have the flax seeds, like I already said, they're also rich in omega-3. We have the shellfish rich in vitamin B12 and zinc. And when we say shellfish, we're talking about shrimps, prawns, crabs, everything, shellfish, mussels, everything. You can take those ones too. And when we are talking about diabetes, don't just take them because okay, you want to have children now. Try to see how you can provide it into your, make it a culture, make it a lifestyle. Like I said, it is a lifestyle change, lifestyle modification. Change your lifestyle, change your eating habits, because it's not just for people that expect that because they want to have children. It helps you because we believe whatever you eat, you are what you eat actually. So whatever you eat plays a very good role. So try to eat dark leafy vegetables. We should not undermine our popular or regular pumpkin leaves, which we know as the good leaves. It's very, very, very healthy. Don't just stick to eating the white vegetables, which are the carrots, the cabbage, and the lettuce. Always alternate them with the green vegetables. We have the beans too, which is also rich in protein. And when you want to talk beans, we're looking at having the black-eyed pea, and this other one that we call the beans made from the upper beans. But the normal beans we eat, that we use for our beans porridge, we have like 60% carbohydrate in it. But when you're really sure you're getting a very large amount of protein, we are looking at the black-eyed pea and beans we use to make our local you called cover from the state. So I feel I have mentioned, I said all I have to say, but sincerely, if you want to kind of embark in this whole thing, watching your lifestyle, there are various ways you can do it. You can start with a detox meal. We also make what they call it, menus where you can also kind of we go for smoothies. I mean, if the list I've given down here, the dietary list I've given, you can pick from this and make out smoothies. You can have them as your breakfast. Then you can now make what you call it, the rice and everything. The rice, just make rice 3 times in. And if you're making choice, in the rice, if you're not for brown rice, you can go for the normal rice. Don't even waste your money going for that because the calorie intake in 100 gram of basmati and the normal rice is not much. Normal one has like 100 kilocalorie and the basmati is 100. I don't see like 100 kilocalories for the basmati and the normal one is 110 kilocalories. So I don't think you spend extra money just because you're trying to afford 10 kilocalories. So please go for the normal rice that you can afford. Only thing we're going to add lots of vegetables to this and having enough of vegetables. Okay, so I guess that's all I will have to say for diet and fertility. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section. Thank you very much. Okay, so any questions, please?